Okay.
Hey, John.
Hey, Alvin.
Hey, world.
And welcome to Tit for Tat.
I'm Alvin.
I'm Charles.
Hey, Dallas.
Hey, world.
Today, we are going to be talking about the gay sex industry, specifically the Black gay sex industry.
Yeah.
We just got back from Houston, so we're a little tired here, but we're going to push through.
We are.
And but thanks for joining us today. And like, comment, share, and subscribe. So we had a little Houston adventure. We went down to Houston to a pre-birthday party.
Yes.
For our friend
Shelton's husband.
Yeah.
Lenore.
Yes.
So Shelton and Lenore, thank you for the invite.
And his twin brother.
And his twin brother, yes. We really enjoyed you guys. Hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah, we had a great time. It was a blast.
Hey, Cecil.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, cuties? Thank you. Thank you, Cecil. But yeah, we had a blast. It was just an overnight trip, pool party, and they did the crab ball, whatever. It was really nice.
Yeah.
Met some nice people, did some networking.
Right. Really cute guys down there.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You know, we were enjoying ourselves looking at the guys
Exactly.
at the pool and their little swim trucks and,
Yes.
and the bodies and that. But we had fun.
Yeah.
We met some really nice, cool people.
Yeah.
So
cool.
And looking forward to seeing them again. But thank you, Shelton and Leonard, for having us down there.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see y'all probably in July when we go down for Keith. It was good seeing Keith. And
Oh yeah,
Dexter
Keith
too.
and Dexter. Hey y'all.
Yeah, we go down for their party and stuff in July.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, let's get into this topic.
Let's get into it.
What do you think about this, the gay sex industry? What do you think about that?
I love it. It's so much because when a lot of people, when they think about gays and lesbians, whatever, they think we're just ruled by sex. Everything is sex or whatever. So I think this is going to be a hot topic just to get views and opinions. You can hear how we think and what we have seen, either experienced or we've heard stories or whatever. So I think this is going to be a really good topic, But we do have our what is it, a reel or the TikTok video?
Oh, you want to see the TikTok? You want to see our "Oh no, you didn't" moment?
Yes, that's what we call it.
Our funny, little funny moment here.
Just to break the ice first, and then we'll get into all this deep kind of stuff.
Right, let's get in here, then. Let's go in here and show our little "Oh no, you didn't" moment.
Okay.
Okay. So our little chuckle. We'll do our little. It's our little chuckle here.
Yeah.
But, so we'll get our little chuckle. Every time I see this guy with his teeth, it just wears me out. It just literally wears me out.
Oh my God.
So, so let's share this here. This is fun.
Music make you lose control. Music make you lose control.
He looks like she's the deaconess at the church, and she's trying to be sexy for her husband.
Oh my God. Hey, slick and salacious.
Yeah,
slayish, sorry, slayish.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on?
He said, "Hell no." You're right.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, and she came tumbling down.
Oh my God, that was crazy.
It was.
But but anyway,
Ooh.
So let's get into this. So have you ever dated a sex worker? And you know, sex workers, they can come in, you know, all different, you know, it's just not like strippers.
Right. And I think we'll kind of go over some of them. I think the first question should be, am I a sex worker? Did you ever ask me?
How would you be a sex worker?
You don't know.
No, I don't.
I could be like a sex worker at night or whatever. But anyway, I'm not.
Well, you could be.
At least not right now.
You can be doing OnlyFans.
I could be, but yeah, no. No, have I ever dated a sex worker? No, I have not. And not because, you know, I didn't want to. The opportunity has just never arose.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not something I think I am able to do. I mean, it would just strictly be for play. You know, it would just be for play for me. I wouldn't expect anything serious, even if they wanted something serious. I couldn't be in a relationship like it because I know I'm gonna be jealous. I know I'm gonna be like, I don't want to share you or whatever. And they can say all they want to say, you know, it's a job and blah blah blah, whatever. It's just not gonna sit right with me. So it would just only be play. Because I mean, some of them are very sexy. Like, you know, they got the muscles and the sex appeal, stage presence, all that. So I mean, there is like a turn on there, something like, ooh, yeah, whatever. But
so you could have sex with them though.
oh yes.
But have you had sex? Do you that you know of? Have you had sex with any? Would say like strippers, you know, like dancers, strippers, escorts, masseurs. You know, you don't know of, right? Or you know for sure that you haven't.
So I don't know. I haven't.
Okay. So I have. So yeah, I have, and I knowingly, you know. Now, so what I'm gonna say is that there's probably some that maybe I have had sex with and didn't know that they were because they didn't disclose it or whatever, or I didn't find out. But there are some that I knowingly have had sex with. You know, like, you know, years ago, you know, when I would go down to Elm and Pearl or the Metro, you know, the dancers would be down there. And, you know, a couple of times, you know, they have come on to me, you know, or whatever, after they finished dancing. You know, I didn't pay them or anything, but, you know, they met me like as like to go out with or whatever, or for, you know, for sex or whatever outside of their dancing. And then, you know, and then there was, you know, a couple of them I have gone out on dates with. You know, we went out to eat. You know, I have, you know, went out on a date with a masseur. But as far as like my first friends, when I first, you know, like I said, I was never in the closet. So, you know, I know people use the term in the closet, but I was never in the closet. So it wasn't me, you know, it wasn't no thing of me coming out, you know, like saying when I came out the closet. So when I first met my friends when I was younger, I was 18. My first gay friends actually were sex workers, you know, but they had been kicked out of their house.
Okay.
You know, they were, you know, I was 18, and I had met 5 friends. There was 2 of them I know for sure that they were, you know, male prostitutes, you know, but they had to survive.
Yeah.
So that's why they did that, you know, because they were kicked out of their homes. The other 3, you know, I'm not for sure if they did. I don't think they did because, you know, one of them had a job, but sometimes at night it was questionable about what he was doing, you know, or whatever. And then my other one, I'm not for sure if he turned to that later in life or whatever. But but my first friends were they were actual sex workers where they would prostitute themselves. You know, down in Cincinnati, downtown. The police would even pick them up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
The police would harass them, you know, but then they would harass them to get them to perform sex. So instead of taking them to jail, you know, or whatever, they would put them in their car and make them, you know, give them head and stuff, you know, like that, or have sex with them. And I still remember the policeman's name. It was Kramer, and I forgot the other one. But yeah, they would do stuff like that. So my first friends were sex workers. And they kind, you know, even though I never did anything like that, I don't have anything against the sex industry or the trade, you know, because sometimes people do what they need to do to survive.
Exactly.
And then there's other ones who do it because they enjoy the money. There's some who do it because, you know, they are sex addicts, you know, or whatever. But some do it because they enjoy the money. And then I remember telling you not too long ago too that when I came to Dallas, when I moved to Texas, my you know, one of my good friends, you know, when we first met, you know, he wasn't a sex worker. He was in a relationship for 10 years, but he ended up losing that relationship. But he actually had turned into like a sex addict or whatever. So the sex work, even though he made money off of it, he was a male escort. And we would hang out, you know, my friend down in San Antonio, my friend Deborah, you know, all of us, we would all, and this friend here, we would all go hang out, you know, go to the club. Back then it was called the Village Station, you know, now it's S4. But we would all go hang out, and then we would go over to his house sometimes while he's getting ready, while we were getting ready to go out, and then he'd get a call. You know, back then they had the beepers, and he would get a beep, or either he would get a message on his phone, and then he would leave the house, you know, and we'd be waiting there for him to get through doing whatever he was doing, because he was escorting. And then he would get back. Now, he wasn't black, he was actually white. So, but I know we're talking about black people, black gay escorts and masseurs and strippers and stuff, you know, like that. But so I've had them in my life, you know, so it's nothing for me to, you know, hang around with a diverse group of people. You know, I don't have anything against it. And I feel like, you know, like I said, I have dated them. I haven't been in.
What types have you dated?
Oh, okay. So.
Because you're going along with it.
Okay, watch your mouth.
Who?
You.
You're going along with it.
Up to you.
I'm asking you. You asked me that question, so I'm asking you.
So, actually, somebody said, "What do you think about PDJs?" So what I have dated. They're called, you know, I don't know if they like to be called strippers. Back then, they were called strippers or dick dancers. Right now, they're just called pole, like dancers or pole dancers. So I have gone out with dancers, strippers with dancers. I have dated a masseuse. I do believe one of them that I knew one of them that I had dated was he was a masseur, but I also think, you know, something tells me he was a porn star also. He didn't tell me that part when I met him. When I did meet him, I knew he did massages.
Right.
But I didn't know about the porn stuff. But there's something in me that says that he also did porn too. And then we weren't in a relationship, but we did date, you know, probably for about maybe 2 or 3 months, you know. But I couldn't bring myself to actually get into the relationship with him. And I don't know if I can get into a relationship with a sex worker if they're still in the business. If they've let that go, then I think that I can, if they're not going to return to it. You know, because, you know, that probably would make me insecure if I was in a relationship. When I was dating them, the ones that I have dated, and the dates were really nice too. You know what I'm saying? Because they're no different than us. You know, they're just, out there making money with sex, you know, whatever. But I can date them, but as far as relationship, I wouldn't have a problem getting into a relationship with one if they, you know, come out of that business, you know, because I know when I was dating them, I didn't have a problem. They didn't even, you know, I knew we were just dating, so I didn't have all these expectations. But and I wasn't insecure about it, but I think it would probably make me insecure if I actually got into a relationship with a sex worker, knowing that when they leave to go out at night or in the daytime, what they're going to do, And that's kind of weird because when I was dating them, if I dated them, it didn't bother me at all, if they were doing that. But, but in a relationship, I think it would make me insecure, but outside, if they weren't in a relationship, I think I could probably do it because I've dated a diverse group of people.
Right.
I try to get to know people, I'm not too much worried about their past or anything or what they've done before we met. It's more of what we go together doing forward. I'm not so much worried about their sex life and stuff before that. So yeah, that would I think that would make me a little bit insecure if I got into a relationship with them. So I don't know if I could get into a relationship with one. If they're still in the business. What about you? What do you think? Do you think, I know you already said that you couldn't get into one, but what if you just met somebody and then you were dating them and you didn't know that they were a sex worker and then you got into the relationship, say 4 or 5 months, 6 months down the line, you get into the relationship with them and then they either tell you that they are, that they have done it or they're out of the business now, but or they're still in it. Would you end that relationship? Or would, and just say you actually fell in love with them.
So we're not dating, we're in a relationship.
Say you end up getting into a relationship because you didn't know that you didn't know, they didn't disclose to you that that they're still a sex worker or they have been a sex worker. Does that make a difference?
Yeah, because like I said before, I do not want to be in a relationship with a sex worker, stripper or whatever. Because I don't want to share you. We can have that discussion and it's basically going to be like, why did you lie? Or why did you not disclose this information to me? If you got me in this relationship and now you want to, spill your guts or whatever and tell me the truth or whatever. So I'm going to feel bad about that. First of all, that you felt like you have to hide it or keep it a secret or whatever. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that because I don't want to be in a relationship with someone that is doing things that I feel like should only be done with me, because it's intimate. I feel like it's very intimate. Now we can play out, like I said, if we were just dating, we can do that all day. But to be in a relationship, I don't want to share you with people. I don't want to feel like, I'm jealous or I'm insecure or whatever, none of that. So
I don't think that's any different than being in an open relationship then, because you're sharing then. Not saying you've been in them, but
well, the opposite of that is if I choose to be in an open relationship, I'm going to know that up front. This is someone that has got me in a relationship and now wants to say, this is what I wanted. I've been doing this or whatever. So you've lied to me. You've got me in something under false pretenses or whatever. So that's an issue to me or whatever. Now, if I choose to be in an open relationship, I choose to do that or whatever. But I'm making a choice. You haven't really given me a choice. You just springing this on me. And so now I have to make a choice. Do I want to continue this or do I want to just stop it? And I'll let that person, explain to me because they may have some explanation that, I may accept. I don't know what they can say, but I don't know. It could be like, hey man, I'm just doing this just to get through school or whatever. As soon as I get through school or whatever, I'm done. I'm just trying to, and at this point, I probably do have, strong ties to them. Depends on how long we've been in a relationship. So it may be even hard for me to let go because at this point, I may really, really like you, even though you're telling me this. And so I may try to find a way to make it work. But if it comes down to, me hurting or me getting hurt or, I'm just going to have to say, hey, man, I tried, but I can't. I tried, but I can't.
So, do you think because they'll return to it once, just say they did finish, they were doing it for school or something, and once they finished school, do you think it kind of may get ingrained in them where they can't let it resolve that? Touching your pearls?
I'm joking.
Do I need to give you the Heimlich maneuver? Because there will not be no mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Why are you rolling your eyes at me?
You're stupid.
Super stupid as this girl from work. My friend from work totally says, you super stupid.
You're super stupid.
That's what she says to Brandy anyway. So yeah, that would be kind of a dilemma.
Now you said if they decided to quit when they left school, what were you saying?
Like, you had brought up saying that they may have been doing it for to get through school.
Okay.
But, sex workers, a lot of them do it for different reasons.
Mhm.
Now, some of them do it just for pleasure, just before the pleasure. And some of them are into it because, like I said, they've been, when they're young or something, they've been kicked out of their homes and they get into the prostitution part of it, like maybe the street walking or into the escorting part of it. The dancers and stuff. Some of them get into it for the money, or whatever. Or some of them have gotten into it because it was intriguing. They saw videos or saw other people doing it. It was intriguing to them or whatever. People get into the sex industry for different reasons.
Different reasons.
But what we're talking about is like dating. Are they dateable relationship? Are they dateable relationship, or or is it just sex or whatever? But
I saw a video with a dude, and he was saying that it never fails and this was a straight dude. He said it never fails that the girl because he doesn't lie to them, so they go in knowing what he does or whatever. But he said it never fails that they get to a point where they're like, quit this. Can you stop this? Or, they're questioning their sexual, their attractiveness rather. Like, why do you have to do that? Am I not enough or whatever? He said it just never fails. So he says everything really for him just has to be, casual, or he has to date within the industry. And I know I've seen, even with gays, I've seen a lot of the gay porn stars or whatever, they'll date within the industry, but I don't know, it seems like they don't last for whatever reason. I think some of them go in saying, hey, you're a sex worker, I'm a sex worker, or whatever. And my thing is, as long as you keep work. And I think some of them, somewhere in there, go maybe fuck the best friend or, whatever. And then the lover finds out and they're like, hey, you broke, the agreement or whatever. Because I've seen, we've seen them on Twitter where they've been fighting. They're fighting, they're cutting each other and throwing each other around the apartment and stuff because, they don't call the partner doing some crazy stuff or whatever. But I mean, I guess that would be, you would think that would be a safe thing to do. If I'm a stripper, let's just date in the industry because you already know what I do. You know what comes with this.
right.
But I mean, that's not to say that you should limit yourself because there may be someone outside that industry that will be okay with what you do and has no problem with it or whatever. And this is what the guy says too. He said the girls, they'll be like, well, since you sleep with other people, can I sleep with other people too? And he's like, no, I'm doing it for work, And I think some of them, some of them have that same concept. Straight, gay, whatever. Like, hey, you doing it? I should be able to do it too. So it's just tricky.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just with all of us, I know we can say that we probably, in our mind or whatever, that we probably haven't dated somebody or been with somebody who is a sex worker or has done sex work. But the gay community is not that big. You know, it's sometimes it seems like it is, but it's really not that big.
Mhm.
And the people just say we have picked up people casually off of the dating apps or at the clubs, or just met somebody, you know, whatever. In our course of the many years we've been on this earth, you know, that we've been lifing, you know, I think all of us probably have, you know, probably if we have casually picked up people for sex and stuff off of the apps and the clubs and stuff like that. And I think a lot of us have, that we probably have, you know, probably unknowingly have dated somebody that was, you know, what we call a sex worker, like, you know, where they're doing OnlyFans maybe, or you know, dancers, or whatever. You know, some of them work in the sex industry and they just sell supply, you know, sell toys and stuff. It's a broad business.
Mhm.
So, but I'm liking some of these questions here. Let me get to some of these questions these comments that the guys, maybe some girls in here too that are.
Yes, thank you guys for interacting. I love it.
Let's see here. What is slick and salacious? They done got you emotionally hooked before telling you. Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah.
Right.
That question that you posed.
And I think that can be the dilemma there, because once it's just like with any relationship and stuff, because you don't actually know a lot. Sometimes you don't know a lot about people when you first meet them. You kind of learn about, you know, like from going out on dates or being with the person over the course of weeks or months or something. That's how you tend to start learning about people that you're dating, right? Because you don't know everything about everybody, you know. And I think they don't always tell you. I'm not sure why, you know, I can't speak for everybody, but I think they may be a little insecure about telling you, because if they really like you also, they might want to get into a relationship with you, or, you know, or date you seriously. And so they don't want to tell you, because they know that you know, they don't know, but they might think if they tell you that they have done this type of work or they're doing this type of work, that the relationship or the dating would end, and they might not want that to happen. And so it could be a fear or something of, you know, not wanting the relationship to end, that they didn't tell you, even though, you know, in our mind we might think that it's being dishonest,
It is,
you know, or whatever, or deceitful or whatever, you know. But once you're tied into the dating that person, or you really like them, or just say you do get into a relationship, it's like any relationship. It would be hard to get out of it, even when shit starts happening. You know what I mean? When stuff starts happening, or you start finding out stuff or whatever, sometimes it's hard to get out of those, you know, you don't want that to end, because you really do like that person a lot, you know. You might be able to, you know, some people might be able to overlook it, you know. I think it depends on, with me, you know, how it happens and what they're saying to me or whatever, and if I believe what they're telling me, you know, or whatever. And then and maybe they, you know, once they get with you or something, maybe they can stop it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know, or y'all get together in a relationship, you know, and you can pool your finances and stuff, and it might be something where they can get out of it, where they don't have to do that type of work or whatever. You know, I think there's some of them who will probably tell you they're going to stop, and they're not going to, because they really love doing the work.
Right. And the attention it brings and all
Right.
that, because you become a star.
Yeah.
Like gay star.
So Cecil says, how can you tell if a person is a sex worker or not? I don't know.
How can you learn?
He says, how can you tell if a person is a sex worker or not?
By them telling you.
What if they don't tell you though?
Then you won't. Unless you find it. I mean, unless you go find a video or a tape, or a friend tells you, hey, I just want you to know your friend is a sex worker. I mean, you know, just like any other thing. I mean, you know, it would have to be either you discovering it, or you being like a detective and finding something on the phone or in their computer or whatever, or someone that may know of that life and they tell you or whatever. I mean, you know, because if they don't tell you, then yeah, you're just gonna find out indirectly.
So I was talking to some of my other friends about it, because they have also been in relationships with like sex workers and stuff. Mainly they have found out because, like, I'll say one of them had told me that, you know, they didn't know that the person they was in a relationship, you know, was a porn star, but it wasn't like the regular old time fashion porn stars. They were doing OnlyFans.
Oh yeah.
And another friend sent them the video of the person they're with doing OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then that's how they found out. And then another one, the person they were dating, they weren't in a relationship with them, but they were dating them, and they showed up on their Twitter feed, which is now X. But they said in the Twitter, they showed up on their Twitter feed, you know, and I think that could be a shock, you know, but they said they had been dating them for so long, you know, whatever, and they really liked each other, and they weren't willing to let that go, you know, because it was more about the companionship. You know, we've talked about that before too. It's more about the companionship and the person. They have been in open relationships before, so it didn't bother them. They said it was more of them not knowing and finding out that way than actually doing the OnlyFans, because the sex and stuff wasn't the most main part that they, you know, they like the sex or whatever. It wasn't the main reason why they were with that, you know, with that person and stuff. So, but yeah, I think it's hard, like you say. I think it's hard if they don't tell you ahead of time, you know, tell you up front, and you find this out later. So I don't know if you would know unless there could be clues or something. Just say y'all live together, you know, or y'all spend a lot of time together, you know, doing stuff or whatever, and then they're always slipping out, you know, that something comes up where, you know, they have to cancel with you or whatever because they have to go, you know, they got a call. Like my friend Mark would get a text or a beeper thing, and then he was out the door, and then we'd be waiting on him for 2 or 3 hours sometimes. And then I didn't say his name, didn't I? Which it wasn't a secret. He, you know, back then, but you know, back then it wasn't. Everybody knew. You know, he didn't keep it a secret. He wasn't ashamed of it or nothing, you know, like that. So, but anyway, he would disappear, you know, or we'd be stranded there, or we're waiting on him and stuff. He would come back, and then we'd go out or do whatever we were going to go do. But I think, you know, the things would arise where, you know, they have to cancel on you a lot, or you know, they have to, all of a sudden the emergency comes up where they have to go, you know what I'm saying? Or in the middle of the night they're, you know, they have to get up and leave or something, and then it's just a lot.
You can see abnormal behavior, but I wouldn't immediately think they're a sex worker. I would have my eyes open thinking something's not right here, you know, because they could be that they're cheating, or they're, you know, they have a whole nother life, or I mean, it could be sex work or any other number of things or whatever. But yeah, so you may see signs. Or
so do you consider that cheating?
What
if you're in a relationship with a sex worker and you know, just say you do know, you know, just say they're a dancer and they dance at night, you know, because, you know, we done been to 10 rooms, and some of them guys over there are just, you know, I like that. The one with the braids, he's cute.
He's a nice guy.
He is really cute or whatever, but I know it's nothing would come of that or whatever. But some, you know, you can look at them and it'd be like, damn. But just say you were dating them, or you were in a relationship with them, and it's known to you. Do you consider that cheating when they go out and so you wouldn't consider it cheating if they went out and you know, even and they're getting paid for it?
That's their job. Yeah, I don't think that it's cheating. I mean, I know it. I know what comes with the life or whatever. So I don't think it's cheating or whatever. Now, if they happen to go to work, do their little porn videos or whatever, then from there go and sleep with somebody else, then come home, then yeah, you cheated when you went to the B place. But when you were at A place, you were doing your job or whatever. So I don't consider your job being cheating, especially since I already know your occupation, you know. So no, I don't consider it cheating. I guess some people may. I don't know. But if you know, I don't see how you can even think that. It's just kind of warped to me. However, I think some people may have the same feelings that you will feel if you caught someone cheating. Like, I feel the insecurity. I feel the jealousy or whatever. Even though you're not cheating, I'm feeling this way or whatever, you know. So you may still, the other person may feel those feelings of being cheated on, but you're not being cheated on if you know about it. You know, you're in it, and he told you or whatever. So no.
So do you think you can have a monogamous relationship? It's just say that we do know. Just say we're dating them and we get into a relationship. Do you think you think you could have a monogamous relationship, or do you think do you think you can step outside the relationship because they're doing that? Do you think it would be okay for you to step outside the relationship since they are going out and having sex? And I'm not gonna say all masseurs, because some masseurs are where they legitimately just only do massages.
Yeah.
But then there's some of them who do massages and they do the happy ending and a whole bunch of other shit, or whatever.
Right.
So, but just say you were dating a masseur, or y'all got into a relationship. Would you want that relationship to be open or monogamous? Or just say y'all say it's monogamous. Does that seem like it would be monogamous if that person could go out and do that type of stuff? But then in your mind, but they don't want you to go do anything. They may be insecure about it, but they're out there doing that.
So for me, so that's an individual question. But if you're asking me, no,
I'm asking you.
Yeah.
And the audience, we got people in our audience here, so y'all can type in the comments what y'all think about that. Also,
yeah.
The question that I posed, and then also how would
So for me, I want to have and we've discussed this on other topics we talk about. I want a monogamous relationship. So anything that you're saying, I could do this or you do that, I'm not for that. I mean, initially, it may be something we can talk about, down the line, because I am open to, whatever is pleasing to me and my partner. It have to be, an agreement or whatever. But it can't be like something you forced upon me. It has to be something that we talked about and we agree upon. But yeah, for me, and somebody else, they may want that option to where I can sleep with this person since you're doing this, or you can be open or whatever. So yeah.
So this question in here, you posed this question. You said it to me,
yeah.
Right? And you said you want to know how if you are in a relationship with a sex worker, how do they differentiate, sex work, the work from sex, from dating, relationship sex, So what I don't know if you wouldn't talk to anybody about it or whatever. But I actually went and looked up something about that.
No, when we say we were going to talk about it, that this was my main thing. Like, if I'm going to, I wonder and I've seen videos too where people try to answer this question, and they say that they can cut it off. Right. But I want to know, how do you do that? You would have to be, because I'm an emotional person, and so. What I feel is what I feel, and so I don't see how you can do that, but I'm sure it can be done. So that's the thing. I'm like, you're doing this, for pay or whatever. This is your job or however, but you're in a relationship. Like, are you saying that you're not getting any thrill out of this, or this person does it better? Are they rocking your world? Am I rocking your world? It's just like, where do you cut that off? Where do you say, this is just work, and then you go home or whatever? Can you even give it to me after you done nutted with all these other people? Now you're at home and I want it. Can you give it to me now? Do I have to wait a day or so or whatever? Can we even have a normal sex life? Because if this is your job, you need to save all that nut up so you can perform at work. So it's like, am I getting the short end of the stick? Because, you're expected to come, at work. But if you're at home coming with me, you might not have it. It's just like, where do you draw the line, you know. And so what were some of the answers you
Well, I looked at several different ones, but they all said that they, when they're like, not so much the masseur, but to say the ones who are doing like the OnlyFans and the ones who are doing the actual, the videos with production companies. They say that that's just work. They say it is strictly work. When they leave theirs, they said they don't even be thinking about sex with anybody else. They really want to go home, watch TV, and just relax, and then not even worry about it.
But they're in relationships though?
Yeah, well, some of them are.
Okay.
And some of them have said when they were in a relationship, but they said it's different because that's work. That's work. But when they're with their partner, then it's more the emotional. It's emotional. There's feelings there. There's emotion.
It's romance,
probably. And then they want to have sex with their partner. And then it's different. But they can separate the work from. They said with the work, it's just work, and it's like a lot of scenes, and you're shooting them over days and weeks and stuff, and then there's no passion or anything with it. They only see it as work.
And see, I have an issue there because you can't tell me that. So I'm just gonna speak from the gay part. You can't tell me that my co-star checks every box as far as physically, like he's the right skin color, the right height, the right weight, or whatever. I don't feel like this is a dude that I would date. This is somebody that if I saw him out, I would do this. You can't tell me that you're not feeling it. Oh, it's just work, but you are sexy. Like your dick is not. I mean, your dick's supposed to be hard anyway. You're doing that work, but like your dick is extra hard because this guy is really sexy to you. You telling me that there's nothing there? And I mean, I guess they can't. They like I clocked in, I clocked out. That's it. But for me, I guess maybe I can't. So if I was a porn star, I don't think I would be able to cut it off. Because I'm like, if you're sexy and you're and I like everything that I'm seeing, I mean, there's gonna be something there for me.
So I'm looking here what Cecil, Cecil is either Cecil or Cecil. What's her name on Dynasty? You remember Alexis? Alexis Carrington. She would say Cecil instead of Cecil.
Oh my God.
So I don't know if he says Cecil or Cecil, but he says Tina Turner said, "Keep your eyes on the money. The sex worker is only focused on revenue, but my man is focused on furthering and solidifying our connection." So, and that's kind of what we were saying. What they were saying when I was watching the videos. It's work to them. Just like when we go to work and do our little corporate jobs and stuff, like that. When we come home, it's like you don't even want to think about work if you don't have to.
Right.
And you can cut it off sometimes. And then, and from the videos and stuff that I had watched on that, they did say they can cut that off. Now, they did say that there's insecurities. A lot of times they get into the relationships they've gotten into relationships, the ones I've watched, they've gotten into relationships with guys who were not in the sex industry. And there's some of them said they pulled them into the sex industry with them.
Wow.
But they said that there is a lot of insecurities that come with dating guys that are outside of the sex industry. But they did also say even dating guys who are in the sex doing the same stuff that they're doing, they can be insecure also, when it's kind of like a double whammy. I mean, like, I don't that's like what y'all both doing it. So I don't know. Me, I'm like, why are y'all both being insecure about it? I'm both doing it, but
it's easy to me. It's easy to understand why someone will be insecure, even though you this is what you do. There's still in your mind like the next person that you're performing with. You could have something with that person. I mean, maybe he sucks it better than I suck it. Maybe he touched a spot that I haven't touched. I don't know all your spots. I would hope I do, but maybe there's just something else. So I can see that be in the insecurity. Really, you're putting it on yourself, because if your partner hasn't said, "Baby, I'm struggling in this area or whatever, and I think we need to talk about this, or I need to get help or whatever. If they haven't made it known that there's an issue, then why do you ponder on it? I think we put it on ourselves because we think, that person could be a one up on me, or they may do it better or whatever. So I think the insecurity, but I definitely can see how the insecurity can come. But I think we put it on ourselves though, especially if the person hasn't told you or shared anything that they have their doubts or whatever.
So Slick and Salacious says, if I dated a sex worker, they would have to have a certain amount of emotional and sexual maturity. And the ones I entertained, he says, and the ones I entertained, she or he, I see a pic there, it looks like, I'm not sure. And the ones I entertained who entertained me were more level-headed like me in our age. That's good. That's good. That's really good there. I think you do have to have, you have to have some type of a level of emotional maturity to date. It's hard dating. It depends on who you're dating, but it can be hard dating or getting into a relationship with anything when problems and issues arise. But you have to have a level of maturity when you're dating anybody, to make that relationship work. And I think you really gonna have to have a level of maturity if you're gonna date a sex worker, and then you're going to I think that's just not gonna have to bother you. You're gonna have to have such a strong constitution or whatever, to actually be in a relationship one where that doesn't bother you every time they're going in and out the door, where they say, babe, I gotta go, go do this job, or whatever.
And what I like about the question that Slick says, he says the sex worker and their maturity. I think over time, like any position you have, you learn what works, what doesn't work. You grow into that position. Say, you are a salesman or whatever. You kind of figure, day one, you're learning the ropes. You're getting rejections and stuff like that or whatever, and you learn how to deal with that. But I think the more you go in there every day and you hone into your craft and your skills or whatever, you get better at it, your concept or whatever. So I think with the maturity of a sex worker, I think it improves the longer they've been in it. But a person that just started, they're probably not gonna, they're probably all over the place. They're not ready to actually be like, you know what, this is just a job, I can cut it out. I mean, some of them may, but I think the more you into it, you start to see that maturity. So it seems like the people that he's dealt with or whatever, they've probably been in the industry for a while, and they know exactly what works for them, what doesn't work. And, they're solid on where they are at this point and what they want in life, and that's a good thing. Now, see, if I don't know, if a person showed me that, look, this for real, this is just work. I mean, or whatever. I mean, I would be more open to, kind of hearing what they have to say, because I would be able to hear the story, get the background, and just know how they see this thing or whatever. Then they can reassure me, hey man, I'm with you. No matter what I do out here or whatever, I am with you. I'm trying to better us. Like you said, these people are trying to, make sure that their relationship grows and it doesn't get, stopped or stilled or whatever. But, we continue to grow together. We continue to just, mature together and, just live a nice life or whatever. But yeah, I like the fact that he said, the maturity level.
I think that ties into the relationship too. So early on, like what you're saying is, they don't have the maturity level, but same thing with the relationships. Just say you did get into a relationship with a sex worker. I think probably if that relationship has longevity, then you will get more comfortable. The person who's not the sex worker, but they're in a relationship, they'll start understanding that side of it. And then that insecurity that they might initially have in the beginning, that'll dissipate because they'll get more comfortable and they'll mature. And then they'll probably realize that that's just a job, just like my job is just a job. And then, you see what I'm saying? And then when the person walks out the door to go do this, then that insecurity or that, like, oh my God, they're having sex with somebody else, it's not going to register in their mind like that. It's like they'll be back home, they've been going to make us some money,
right?
And you know what I'm saying, and that, so it comes with a level of maturity, and then I probably think if the relationship has longevity, then you'll loosen that grip on that what they're doing,
that fear, insecurity,
like they're doing it. So, but slick and salacious, it says, I feel like depending on the type of sex work they do, lines can get blurred. So, it's like if they go on dates with clients, should they go on dates with clients?
Because that's like an escort. Because remember we were looking at that. So escort. So I was watching a video and he said that some people, they're just lonely. And remember we did the video on ageism.
Right.
So sometimes these guys, they get so old. And like we talked about how sometimes in the gay, and I guess anybody, but they tend to get rejected or misplaced. They get lost in that because they feel like I don't have anything to offer. I'm old, or whatever, and no one looks at me or whatever. So some of them, because they're in that, that place, they will hire the escorts, and sometimes it's just for a date. Take me, go to the movies or whatever. Let's go walking in the park or whatever. But and like he said, it's getting blurred. So what if I am just there to just sit and watch TV or whatever? What if I start getting feelings? So so that is something. But like we just said, with the maturity and the longevity, hopefully you're with someone that knows, I'm not going there. This is strictly just to sit and watch. One guy said that someone hired him. Hey, lady,
it's my son.
Yeah, someone said that someone hired him to come over just to sit and watch porn, and they just for all day. And he paid them a lot of money. He said, "Oh, I would love to do it. If you're going to pay me $3,000 just to sit and watch porn, I'll do that."
Let me tell you something. That reminded me, because I forgot all about so me and my friend Brian, we used to go to these fundraiser parties in Fort Worth years ago, right? I kind of stopped once my son, when my son was born, I kind of stopped going, I had to raise him and get him up. But we used to go to these parties and fundraisers and stuff. And one of the doctors we knew, I forgot about that, but he used to hire beautiful escorts to come with him, like if he was dating them. He really wasn't. We knew he wasn't dating them, but he would bring them, and to the parties or whatever. Like this was his. It was his day. And he would take them on luxury vacations out of the country. So, like you said, thousands of dollars. So you can make a lot of money doing that type of stuff. And he was older. He probably would have been in his maybe 60s or 70s or something. I'm not for sure. I forgot how old he was. They did. It's just like movie stars and stuff, and they'll hire escorts and stuff to take, just like using them as beards and stuff to take them. They can be gay, the man can be gay, or the woman can be a lesbian or whatever. They can hire a gay man, a gay escort or whatever, to escort them to a dinner or escort them somewhere as if that's their date, or they're dating them as a cover up and stuff. But they do go, they do go on dates. The question here from Slick, it kind of gets me though, because they're going out on these dates, but if they're in a relationship with you and dating you, I don't know. That's kind of. I get. Do they fall for their clients? Do they fall for their clients too?
I think that's what he's saying. Like when the line. So say I hire you to go on a date. Like if they go on dates with clients and sex them, do the emotions, right? Do they get attached? And they I mean, it's a possibility. That's why I say, that will buy, and that's what we're talking. That's the fear and the insecurity that the person that is not in the sex industry is going to have. That's why you would have to reassure me that this is not going to happen, or I need to just not even be in a relationship with you, because that's not going to go away. I just can't deal with that. And then he said, if they do OnlyFans, probably not. And I get that, because you're just videoing. or whatever. So you probably won't, but they could get attached just to the video. And what I mean by that is, if I'm in a relationship with you and I want to go out, I want to do this, I want to do that, or whatever. If you gotten so bad to where all you want to do is OnlyFans, that we got a problem. Even though I know that you're not cheating on me, or you're not sleeping with anybody, or you're not fucking off on me or whatever, but still, this has become such a big thing in your life that now we're not going on dates anymore. We're not going to, it's become an addiction almost. You know what I mean? So that's
some
the
of them
only
are
thing.
addicted. Some of them do have sex addictions, and they use that to feed their sex addictions and stuff like that. But you wouldn't be to be in a relationship with a sex addict. And if they're a sex addict and they're doing and they're in the sex industry, you're not going to get a relationship out of that. It's going to be a hot ass mess. You know what I'm saying? Just dealing with the sex addict, the sex addiction part alone. Now, if they're not a sex addict and they can cut that off or something, like that. But not if they're a sex addict. That's a whole different ball. A whole different. That's a whole different elephant. And you're not going to even, just dealing with the sex addiction part, you ain't going to get a good relationship. It's going to be a fucked up relationship.
Right.
And insecurities, they're never going to go away until, even after you leave that relationship, it takes a while. So, because I done dated a sex addict too. When I found out, that was the craziest shit too. Like I told you, I done dated and it done some stuff. So, I've lived. Somebody said that. I saw that on something where I have lived.
Okay.
I have lived. So,
well.
But that would be, let's see, how would a person deal with their, just dealing with insecurities anyway is hard. You just got to deal with them, or get a therapist, get into therapy or something that to help you, to help you deal with with your insecurities, with any relationship, if you have real bad insecurities, and you might need therapy or something to help you,
and communication,
talk that out.
Right.
Or whatever.
You should definitely speak to the person you're in a relationship with and get the communication out there, because there could be something they could say that will, help you with those insecurities, or maybe, help them to even go away or whatever. But initially, overall, I wouldn't be in anything that I'm not ready for. I'm not comfortable with it if I don't feel safe.
Right.
If I don't feel like, I'm in a protected place, a safe environment, I wouldn't even get in it or whatever. Because evidently I'm not ready for it. I'm not built for it. Some people are just not built for that.
You have options.
Yeah, and you have options.
Even though you might really like the person, or or even if you fell in love with them and then you find out that they're doing that, you still have options. You got to know yourself if you'll be able to deal with that. Because if you're not going to be able to deal with that, it's best to get out of it so you don't drag yourself down to the curb,
right?
And that you don't
you lose yourself.
That you don't damage your soul in that or whatever, because I can see where it can be really damaging. But there's some people who have really strong constitutions and they can deal with they can deal with a lot, and that might not affect them or something. But I think most people, the most general, most in the population, I think that insecurities and jealousies, and then you might start comparing yourself to the people that they're having sex with, especially if you don't know who they're having sex with. Because if they, because everybody's not going to be old, or what people, or how sometime in our community, the gays will body shame and stuff, like that. If you don't look just perfect or have the right body or this or something, like that, they'll body shame you or whatever. But everybody's not going to be old or decrepit or what they call big or whatever.
If it's a porn video,
right? Because there's some guys who are on the DL and they hire escorts and stuff, so they don't have to deal with the gays that are out, or whatever. They might hire escorts so they can be with the man and feel that touch and all of that type of stuff. You have, like you say, you have older ones, but you have younger ones too that are, they can be like studly and everything like that.
Yeah.
Still, and it ain't just what, it's just not that stereotype we have in our head of who's hiring escorts or, just like when you go to the clubs and the dancers are out there, we're all giving them money. You know what I'm saying? And we could be any age. So perfect.
I mean, I don't pay strippers.
So, but I've given them money before. But and I see all age groups giving them money and touching them and rubbing them. I done seen some of them go back to the back room with them, and give them all their damn money. But but so it's not the typical stereotype of where we think it's going to be this type of person who's actually hiring escorts, or it's not even the same thing as far as people who are doing the videos and stuff, because it's all type of people in this. There's so many, the billions of people in this world who are watching porn videos. They have a variety of porn videos.
Yeah.
They have their fetishes and stuff they like. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's something out there for everybody. The politicians and stuff that we elect and stuff. They pass laws against this stuff. But they're out there. They're out there themselves. Hiring escorts or sleeping with escorts and paying. Whether they're straight or gay or whatever, or bi, whatever, they're out there doing it themselves. So people all over the world, no matter what, is all a variety of people are paying for this, the sex and stuff, just like with the videos and stuff, right? It doesn't matter how old you are, because there's people out there who like really, they can be young people and they can like old people, and they like looking at old videos. And what's those ones, those videos of the cuckold? What's it called? Cuckold or
I know what you're talking about.
Huh?
I know what you're talking about.
No, okay, cuckold or whatever they are.
There's that.
I think that's like where they're white women or white. I think they're white women, and then it's like fetish type stuff, and then the black man is having sex with them, what they call the BBC or whatever. It's having sex with the white man's wife. They make the videos like, this is my wife and this big old black. This big old black cock is coming in here having sex with my wife, and he's watching or something like that. I think it's called cuckold. CUCKOLD.
I don't watch a lot of straight porn. Yeah.
Okay. But there's all type of variety. There's people out there with fetishes and stuff where they like feet, foot fetishes, or I don't have a problem with all the stuff they're watching, as long as these adults ain't watching kids. I don't like the ones where they're doing the kids and the animals and stuff like that. But all the other stuff, have it, do what you want. If that's what you like, or if that's your ball game, watch what you want, pay for what you want, or whatever. But there's so let's talk about this gay for pay. Let's talk about that. Like the straight men, they say they're straight, but they doing gay porn, because you can do straight porn.
You can.
So let's talk about that. And that's a lot of your OnlyFans and
and your your OnlyFans, your escorts, even strippers. I was just watching a video where he got hired to do a gay party. Now he said he doesn't do, like we called him. He wouldn't do it for us, but like his gay friends, he would do it for them because they're his friends, I guess. That's how he works.
So why wouldn't he do it for us?
I don't know. I didn't ask him. But he said that. He said he doesn't do it for like
he gave a reason in the video or whatever. I didn't know if he had given a reason why he wouldn't do it.
Basically, if a gay person, if a gay organization called him or whatever, said, he would say no or whatever. But he would do it for his gay friends. And I guess, to me, I would think It's just I'm not out like that, so I'm not gonna do. But these people I feel comfortable with. They're my friends, so I'll do it for them. I feel comfortable. They want me, I'll do it or whatever. But because then you're gonna get labeled as the gay whatever, and I don't want that. But I'll do it for my friends. It's probably not something that he just promotes or whatever, but he just answered or whatever. But yeah, there's and also the people that do the sip and paint. There's one guy, and I know most of y'all probably don't know who I'm talking about. He's a Trump supporter or whatever, and he does this. He's a black guy. He does this sip and paint across, but he says he's not gay or whatever. But I mean, his videos are like very, you can tell that they're for guys or whatever. And then what they'll say is they realize that their supporters are mostly gay men or men or whatever. So they're going to go where the money is. So, I mean, I get the concept of it, but I don't know. I just have a problem with us supporting that, especially if they are haters of us. And this guy clearly, I mean, some of them are.
They're haters of us, but they're taking our money.
Exactly. That's why I have a problem. And I mean, if you're just doing your thing and most of your supporters are gay men, but you don't make them feel bad or anything, then I have no problem with it. Because you're just instantly doing. But if you're giving off that that you're gay to get money and all this kind of stuff, and then you hate us or whatever, I feel like, why are we giving our money to somebody that don't even like us, that thinks we're the scum of the earth or whatever?
So do you really think that they don't like us? You think they're using that as a cover up? Do you act like these guys who are doing these sex videos with guys, or like the gay for pay, and they're saying they're straight? Do you really actually think that they're straight? Do you think they're like just be closeted gay guys, and then this is their way they can use it as an excuse to actually be able to be with another guy or whatever? They can use the sex industry as a way to do that, but they're really either bisexual or gay, and not really straight like they say, even though they may have a girlfriend, but they can be bisexual,
Right?
And they can use this sex industry as a way to as a way to actually still get to be with the guy and get paid off of it too, but still get to touch and be, have some type of emotional something with a guy, and they just use it. And then they're just gonna say I'm straight, just like DL guys to say that they're straight.
I don't even see how that even makes sense in the entire world, that a straight man, if you consider yourself to be straight,
right? Go do it with a woman,
right? What I just don't believe a straight man in all his straightness and all the straight ability in him will consider having sex with a man if you are 100% straight. Like, I can't even see that entering your mind or whatever. I mean, it don't have to be like that's that, you don't have to gross you out or whatever, but it should be a thing where it's like that does nothing for me. I know guys do it, and hey, do your thing or whatever, but as for me, I don't. I just want coochie. I mean, I just want pussy, whatever. I just don't see how a straight man will or a guy that considers himself straight and go and lay over here with this dude and still want to be called straight. Like, no, that's just crazy to me.
So here's what Cecil said. So I sounded like Joan Collins, but here's what Cecil said. He says a gay for pay guy is gay.
Yeah. Yes.
He might not be gay socially, but he's definitely gay sexually. And that makes all the sense. That makes all the sense. That's kind of what I was getting at. Whatever they say gay for pay, but they're really DL or gay or bi, but they don't want to say that socially or whatever. And this gives them an outlet to, get to horse around and play
exactly,
and stuff, like that.
Right.
And then what else Cecil said? Their body's stimulated by a man, but they might now support and indulge in other gay things, gay rights, gay events, gay culture in general. but they might. I'm wondering,
So
they might now or might not support.
So, I guess when a guy, okay, say a guy, you know, he's worked hard on his body.
Oh, he's sorry about the typo.
He has the body, you know, he has the body or whatever, and
Uh-huh.
you're appealing a gay audience or whatever. So even though that's not my thing, if I know that I'm gonna get the money, because you know, some people that get invited to prides and stuff like
Mhm.
that, some of them they are straight, you know, they're straight guys, but they will come and do that for the money. They have girlfriends and everything. You've never seen them with a guy that's never been considered in their minds or whatever. But because I do get the attention over here, I'll do your pride events. I'll do your you know, your private home things, or your bachelorettes or bachelor parties. I'll do that, but no, I'm not gay. So yeah, I can see that the person not having a nice body and they seem to get, you know, the money and the attention over here on the gay side, standing up and saying like, I have no problem with y'all. I don't want a dick in my butt, you know, or I want to put mine in yours, but I will be an ally, you know. I mean, whatever. Yeah.
So Slick and Salacious, he says, they say Slick and Salacious. By the way, I use they them pronouns. Well, you know what? Next week, next Sunday, our actual live is on the gay pronouns. You know what? That's what our live is next week. The pronouns and, you know, elemental P explain. I would really appreciate if you don't have anything to do next Sunday at 6, if you would come, you know, like join us. We can send you the link and we can pull you right into our live and pull you right up on the screen. Or if you don't want your face or anything shown, we can still pull you in and
just don't turn your camera on.
And you're right, and we can hear your comments, because I would love to get your opinion and explanation on you know, they and them and the you know, the gay pronouns. But send me if you would like to, you know, come into our live next week, just you know, text me or send me you know, send me your email or whatever, and we would love, you know, you don't have to, but we would love for you to come in and join us and talk with us live next week, Slick and Salacious. And if there's anybody else out there who would like to join us, let us know and we can send you the link and we'll pull you right in with us. But that's going to be our topic next week. Actually,
yeah, that'd be good.
I already have it up, you know, the show. But he says, by the way, I use them, they pronouns.
They say.
I'm non-binary.
I like this because even at the end where he says, because some people need money, and you're right. So the only issues I really have with gays for pay is just that when you're getting our support, you're getting our money or whatever, but you hate us. That's when I have issues, because I'm like, if you want to be gay for pay, I mean, if it's paying the bills, like you say, you know, you need the money, or, you know, if you're in denial, that's something you got to deal with. But if I like your content, I'll pay for it. I mean, I don't care. But if I find out that, you know, you hate us, you think we're just gross, and you think, you know, we should all go to hell and burn up and all that, then why are we giving our money to somebody like that? And there's a lot of them out there. I see them all the time on Twitter. And we be all in their comments, and it always takes someone smart to say, hey, why don't y'all just stop supporting this person? Have y'all ever thought about that? You know, just stop supporting them.
So we're kind of going on long here.
Yeah.
But you know, there's more to this topic. So you know, we might revisit it again later. But I'm gonna show this little. Let me show this this little video here of a masseur. All right. So
Baby, after all that, I'm gonna have to either you gonna have to we're gonna have to bust a nut or something because all that just turns me on.
you better go hire you a masseur. Okay, I'll hire me one and you hire you one. Okay, we ain't busting on that. Okay, so.
I don't know what. That's talking about me in that first one.
Oh, okay. I thought you were okay. That's fine then.
Oh
So,
my God.
but that was just a little, like with the, I don't know if that person got a happy ending at the end, but some of them are really legit where they actually it's just strictly massage therapists, and but anyway, guys and ladies, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for all the comments.
Right,
Great questions.
great questions.
Great opinions.
Here it says, is it really? Let's see here. But yeah, thanks for joining us. I'm probably not gonna put up no more questions. That way we can let everybody go get back to their life.
I know.
And then, but thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. And join us next Sunday for Tit for Tat with Alvin and Charles.
Yes.
And we really appreciate you guys and ladies joining us.
All right.
And post your comments.
Like, share,
subscribe. We will still
share the live.
yeah, we'll still see all the comments and we'll come back and get back with you. And if any of you want to come into our live, let us know and we'll send you the link. And so sorry everybody. Charles has some final thoughts here, so I'm gonna let him get to that, and then we'll let everybody go. We got another comment here first, so let's see what we got. Oh,
All right. Peace.
Right.
So thank you for joining.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, just to sum it up or whatever, some things that after all, because we always like to do a little research to see what people are saying about the topics that we talk about. Because we don't know everything. We're not professionals or whatever. But in all of everything that I watched and that we've talked throughout the week and discussed or whatever, I just felt like make sure this is something you want to do. Make sure that you are built for this life. Make sure, because we've seen how this can go left or right. And then yourself, how involved you can be in relationship. So before you decide you want to date, someone in the sex industry, just make sure it's something you really want to do. And my thing is always, as long as I'm not hurting myself or others, I feel like, it's something that I can do or whatever. So always never be in a place where, you're getting hurt or someone else is getting hurt or, don't allow yourself to be hurt. And if you ever feel insecure with that person that you're dating, that's also in the sex industry, talk it out. Don't be afraid to voice it and say, hey, I have some concerns. I have some questions. I have, some feelings that I want to put on the table or whatever. And even before you in a relationship, but communication should always be there before, during, and after, well, maybe not after, but, at least before and during, because people change and you come in with your views there and they have their own views. So there has to be communication. So everyone's on the same page. And the last thing, I guess, for the sex worker, because I don't want to, because like we said, we don't have a problem with how you get your money. We have no problem with the sex industry or whatever.
Being forced into it.
But what
then do your thing.
Right. But and I thought about them and I was like, one of the things that I was seeing is I would never want to put them in a place where they feel bad about what they're doing or that they feel less of a person because they're not. They're just, they're providing a service, and there are people that out there that want the service, and everything is not all gory and with, like you say, with the animals or with kids or whatever, people hurting each other or whatever. Some of it is just sex work or whatever. But the thing too is that if they haven't come out, don't out them. You know, because there are people just like us. You know, they might not want everyone to know. It may just be something that you and that person knows. So also, you know, just don't forget that there are people too.
Well, you know, I'm gonna just say this. You know, we're getting older too. You know, even though age doesn't have anything to do with hiring a sex worker. But you know, if I ain't booed up in a few years, you know what I'm saying? Don't put it past me to be hiring me a masseuse or an escort or whatever, you know, because if I ain't booed up, I ain't gonna be just sitting around lonely and sexless, you know, or whatever. If they out there offering the service, then I'm gonna give them my dollars. Okay. You know, but hopefully I'm booed up or whatever, and then I'm, you know, happily in a relationship or something where I won't have to do that. But I'm not gonna never say never that I'm not gonna do that. I wouldn't hire one myself, you one or two or three,
right? You
know, or whatever. But there, you know, if you happen to find yourself into a relationship with one or whatever, and it's really eating at you or whatever, there are therapists and stuff out there that can help guide you through, you know, maneuver through this, you know, that type of thing, you know, or whatever. If you want to stay in those type of relationships, or if you want to get out of them, or whatever, there are therapists out there for that. So yeah, but you know, everybody do your thing. Okay. You know, go be happy.
See y'all next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.